Hi, this is Sean. So, this video is going to be about my 5 favorite Tudor watches. Tudor is a brand that I really like, and I may buy a Tudor as my next kind of high-end watch if I ever buy another one. I think I'm not such a fan of Rolex anymore. I find the brand a little bit boring these days, and I prefer their older stuff. But I think with Tudor, they are more interesting. I think. I mean, they're doing kind of a similar thing to Rolex in that they're, small incremental improvements to their designs, but the sizing and the kind of watches they're releasing is just more my cup of tea. Um, and there are a few in their collection that I would wear and that I would buy. Whereas I'm not sure I would buy a current Rolex unless I was given loads of money. So I can't afford one as well. But it just don't interest me as much as they used to. So yeah, you tell me what you think of Tudor and which are your favorite from the collection. This list actually predates Watches and Wonders from this year. So the Black Bay, is it 54? Is it 53? The new 37mm dive watch, that isn't on the list, but that is a great watch. And it's perfect for my wrist size. And it's just a really, really cool watch. I imagine it's going to be one of those watches that is really hard to get hold of. But I would definitely wear that watch. I've got a bit of a thing about time-only watches, especially, vintage-inspired time-only watches because I have an Explorer. But I would completely wear that watch. It's awesome. Okay, so my list, in no particular order, starts with the Black Bay 58. Could not be a more boring choice, I guess, and it's still one of those watches that is kind of ubiquitous in the watch world on Instagram and things like that, though not as ubiquitous as it used to be. But it is a great watch. I mean, you're getting a watch that's a great size from a great manufacturer for a relatively good price. It's got an in-house movement in it. It's handsome. It comes on various straps. It would look good on various straps. You could wear it in any environment. It could go on. I personally would go for the blue because the gilt is a bit too close to the Explorer, in my opinion. But it's just a fantastic watch. I've never actually tried one, but I know it would fit me because I've tried a Black Bay, an ordinary Black Bay, and it was too big. So that would be my only option, really. I would love, and I'm not sure this exists, I don't think this exists yet, but I would love a two-tone Black Bay 58. That would be perfect for me because I really, really like two-tone watches. In my dreams, could I ever afford a two-tone Submariner? So the 58 would be amazing for that. Second, the Tudor Prince. My understanding is they still make the Tudor Prince, which is essentially Tudor's version of the Datejust. I would completely go vintage. It's a cheaper Datejust. I think, again, they're brilliant watches. You can't really go wrong with a watch like that. It's timeless. You could wear it until the day you die, and it never look out of place. You could pass it down. The vintage ones have ETAs in them, so they're more easily serviced. I think the modern ones probably do as well, to be honest. Then third, the silver Black Bay 58. I love that watch. I think it's brilliant. I think it's lovely to look at. I think the idea that it's silver is really interesting. And I just think it's really nice to look at. The idea of it being silver is kind of interesting because obviously it's a dive watch, so the idea of making it from a precious metal is in itself interesting. I think they tarnish a little, and there have been some videos on the tarnishing situation with the Black Bay 58 silver. But I mean, that just makes it more interesting in a way, the patina over time. The price is relatively good for a precious metal watch. Obviously, silver is not that expensive a material, but you know, again, I would completely buy that, and I think it would be different enough to my current watches as well, because obviously it's silver, it looks different. Also, it wouldn't come on a bracelet, and it would sit quite nicely with the Cartier Tank and the Rolex Explorer. Then number 4, the GMT. The GMT is a great watch. I mean, I would love a Rolex GMT Master. If I were to buy one, as I've said before, I would get a previous generation 16710 or 16713 two-tone, possibly on a Jubilee bracelet if I was able to. That watch would be 3 times, maybe 4 times what the GMT, the Tudor is. The GMT is a little bit too big, but I could wear it. And I've owned a Seamaster 41mm before. But everyone knows the GMT is a good watch. You know, it's nice to look at again. It's got a useful function. It's relatively well priced for a luxury watch. It's got an in-house movement in it, as far as I'm aware. And last but not least, the Pelagos 39. Again, it was another one that was hard to get when it first came out. I think it still is. Titanium watches are brilliant. The idea of a dive watch in titanium is really practical, and it's a really nice watch to look at. I like the blue. You can't really go wrong. I mean, the size is much better for me than the 41. I did consider buying the Pelagos back in the day. And again, it's something a little bit different to what I've got. It's more of a kind of sporty tool watch, and it's a little bit idiosyncratic as compared to the Rolex Explorer. Yeah, so those are my 5 choices for my favourites in the Tudor collection. Their collection is not as big as some other watch brands, so it's quite easy to choose, and probably nothing to write home about in terms of no surprises there, really. But tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of Tudor, what your favourite watches are from the brand. Thanks very much for watching, and if you like the channel, please subscribe. Bye bye.